Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. Here is the next session. Here is your recap. I will make Sunshine the top line, so go ahead and pause. And pause. There's your recap. I will undeafen now.
Back.
And our recap is
Okay.
recorded, assuming everybody's actually ready to go.
Hello, Internet. And David, I think was his name. That one guy.
Oh, yeah, that one guy.
No, my emotional support.
I have
Archie,
my
baby, can you go lay down?
stuff here.
Okie dokie. So we walk into the temple, Gilly twiddles their fingers, and snaps his back. The end, and I get to be a player again. No, that's what
No.
happens, right?
No.
Oh God, I'm so ready to be a player again. Much love and respect to both of our DMs because the DM life is not for me.
It is incredibly complicated.
Alrighty. Some of you might recognize this map. This is just one I stole from that one shot I did a while back. The actual
Yeah.
temple that you're in is more rectangular. Obviously, there's not green shit outside. But that way we have something to look at.
Yeah.
And nameplates for people.
I do not recognize it because I wasn't there for that. It's a very pretty map.
You were not. You were not. Above table, Becca is aware that I wrote more stuff that we did not and will not get to, and I was content with that, but she did request a few more memories, so fair warning, those will be worked in.
Some shoehorning
Does
will
anyone have
occur.
anything before we begin? I mean, it is an hour-long spell, so, anyway.
I do request that before we begin, I be allowed to rescue my sweater from my hellion of a puppy.
Do it.
Dude! Really? You got all these toys, you got all these treats, and you vote for my sweater. Hey. Here.
I almost used the image of Friar Tuck from the animated Robin Hood, but since we put these on YouTube, even though they're not monetized, I don't want to tempt Disney.
I appreciate that.
So a Scottish fold with little floppy ears it is.
I hope you all enjoyed that if you heard it.
Bits and pieces.
There was some that came through. All right. We begin where we left off, entering the Temple of the Veiled One. Gilly stopped at the door to kneel, and you all saw their bearing change as they rose and then stepped into that inner chapel. Foggy and Priestess Silver also saw Gilly's eyes briefly flash blue before returning to their usual green. And ahead of you is a room you all recall from your vision, a stone chapel with 2 rows of pews and an altar at the far end of the room. Behind and towering above the altar is a black stone statue of a veiled tabaxi with a large silver censer hanging from her paw like a lantern. As you all enter into the temple proper, you each feel a strong sense of deja vu. You have been here before, you're sure of it. It's as familiar as your own home. Gilly, you remember being small and Clash lifting you so you could light the large censer above the altar. Foggy, you have raised your voice in song here with your tiefling father, your alto and his tenor blending and echoing against the stone as he taught you how to drum. Maev, you recall the older gentleman, clanking bottle, tickling you mercilessly with a feather duster as you cleaned the temple together. Dusk, you remember kneeling next to Silver and learning to pray, learning to still and center yourself so that you might feel the divine. And Rasa, you remember the feel of tender hands combing your hair. You remember hidden ice gently pulling your hair back into a bun to match her own. And as we enter the temple, Priestess Silver is going to fall in step next to Gilly and lead you up to the altar and kind of show you the oils and stuff that you had mentioned needing, and she's going to ask it, is this suitable for what you need? And it probably is a little bit more than what you need.
Gilly's going to respond, yes, mother, and then take a step away from the high priestess and slowly walk a very slow and deliberate circle around the entire altar, studying the objects laid on there. Each step is very careful with intentional breathing that goes with it. It feels a little bit like they are building a shrine of energy around the altar itself, establishing some kind of intermediate space within the shelter of the Veiled One. There is no sense of replacement or substitution, just making room for something additional. And they'll bring out the now familiar book that they keep in their bag of holding and open it, reverently turning pages with great care. They're going to stop on one page and reach out to caress the air above the altar and speak the opening words of the ritual that end with, Myliki, I ask of you, please grant us your strength and will to create a hearty and hale vessel for the one known as Snap of Ice, a receptacle for the return of their essence to the material plane. We build this house with our hearts and bones and invite her to return to us if it is her desire and the desire of the Veiled One. And then she's going to turn back toward High Priestess, acknowledge her, and then turn toward the gathered crowd. And she says, with what remnant do we seed this vessel?
Silver, of course, will step forward, and she's going to open her hand to reveal a small glass bottle. It's the same bottle that you all saw in the dream held by Flanking Bottle, the elder tabaxi man. Gently, the priestess opens it and empties something into her palm and says, this is a shard of bone from her leg. By the time she was brought to us for healing, it had migrated into the muscle and was not necessary for the healing, so I pulled it from her. She says the words pensively while turning the shard over in her hand as though considering everything between then and now, before presenting the shard to Gilly.
And Gilly's going to take it and lay it on the table where that leg would be if there was a person laying there, and redouble their attention on the book and muttering incantations and words and prayers and gestures, and begins the hour-long process.
And as Gilly begins to attend to the ritual, here's where we do a little bit of shoehorning. That strong sense of familiarity grows in intensity, and you each recall Mrs. Scaros' words about remembrance and how the living ease the dead through their time in the gray. Maev, your hand grows warm, and you each experience a separate memory. The inside of the temple is cool, and there are lazy swirls of incense in the air. Rasa, For you, that cool, dim atmosphere is broken by a blast of warm, dry air. Before you can react, you are back in Barcanau in a memory. It is a brilliant first day of summer, and you are surrounded by beautiful pottery. The bright southern sun is streaming in through the doorway and the windows behind you, and playing across the glaze on a variety of different place settings in different colors and styles. You're in the middle of a conversation with yourself as you and Snaps are commenting on the options spread out before you, and then the debate over whether or not we needed a casserole dish full of beans. You can feel Snaps already counting out the gold in her claws, enough for one set. Then you hear your own voice. How many sets do we need? Snaps looks up from the gold, confused, because surely you only need the one set. But she sees the furrowed scale ridges above your eyes and realizes you are genuinely considering more. You can feel her dumbly count out the number of your group in her head. 6. Um, it's a set of 8 place settings, she says slowly. And did we lose somebody? Nope, that's just my computer. You can feel her worrying that she has missed something. But you're in the zone. You're in full party planning mode. We've also opened up a barn. Is 8 going to be enough? And Snaps thinks about the boys in the barn. And she looks at the fine pottery. Pottery that is far finer than anything she has ever used. Pottery that nobles continents away will pay small fortunes for. And she looks at the gold in her hands. And she thinks about the boys in the barn. And you feel a bit of amusement and deep affection in equal measure well up in her chest. Sometimes your stoicism and leadership blind her a bit. It's really these smaller, softer moments where she can feel your warmth. In this moment, as someone else mentions the dishes we found back on the beach, you know that Snaps loves you, and the memory is over. Dusk. All of a sudden, the sweet smell of incense in the temple is broken by the taste of stew. Like amazing stew. Where have you tasted this before? As that question poses itself, you realize that you are awash in another memory. You are back at that little sheep farm along the banks of the river near Ormskirk. You see your friends and the Orm family all seated around an outdoor cooking fire, and you can taste the delicious stew Snaps is eating. There's a bit of a pause in the conversation, and Snaps looks up from her bowl of wonderful stew to look over at you. You see yourself set your own bowl aside and reach up to take that calm emotions pendant off and offer it to the Orms to help them on the hard days with their little boy Hugo. You feel an odd mix of emotions from Snaps. There's a little bit of a lump in her throat at the heartwarming gesture. It's chased by a stupid little primal voice of anxiety that worries over the loss of a useful tool, and then annoyance at her own selfish worry. And you feel Snaps resent her. She trusts Foggy to be able to manage his emotion. She trusts you and your Moon Maiden to help guide him and Kurok through the rage if needed. She trusts Rasa and Maiev to be a grounding force. Whatever fear there might have been is washed away like words written in sand. She smiles softly at the act of generosity she has witnessed, and you feel her silent prayer to the Veiled One to keep the Orms from harm. Though she may not be a Firbolg, in this moment you can feel the strong love of your sister. Then she scoops up another spoonful of dinner, because that stew is really good, and the moment is over. Maiev, as this is happening, you begin to feel an itch. It starts right at the center of your chest. You might raise a hand to swat at it, but it's like your bones are itchy. You look down and there's nothing there, just your own boobs, but you can feel it starting to spread, crawling along your ribs. It's like your whole chest is vibrating. And when you look up, everything around you is dark and close. You can't breathe. It's like you're inside the earth, but you're moving through stone. Even with your 8 intelligence, you actually remember this feeling. What you're experiencing is the memory of a dream. As that thought hits you, Snaps breaks through the earth and into a dark passage that curves away down into the mountain. You have seen this corridor before with your waking eyes. You know this is the mountain with the Fomorians in it. You can feel the dream trying to pull Snaps back to a specific path, but you can also feel Snaps fighting against it. You can feel her desperate frustration as she struggles to see more. She's so afraid, but you can feel her determination. She needs to see more. She needs more information. She needs to know more so that all of you, can survive this danger you're marching into. It feels like her bones are creaking against the strain of the dream. Her eardrums itch, her claw beds itch, the roots of her teeth itch. Every root of every hair is on fire. Snaps breaks through the earth again, and she's too far away to see anything, but you hear the familiar screams. You only had the dream twice, but Inseldide's last moments are hard to forget. But the itch is too painful, and Snaps gasps awake, flailing and raking her claws down her own arms. The distress doesn't last long, however, as your senses are assailed by the strong, sickly sweet smell of honey. The stress of the dream is largely dispelled as Dusk loudly discovers his new sticky hairstyle that has been so lovingly provided by Rasa. Maev, you remember this was that last night before you all faced the Fomorians. Snaps was too tired to recall the conversation, and you all went pretty quickly back to bed that night. But Snaps does very clearly remember you sleepily pulling her into your arms. She remembers you gently pulling her claws away from her arm and stopping her from hurting herself. You can feel the exhausted tears welling up in her eyes as she drops her head onto your shoulder and silently prays to the Veiled One to keep you safe. And you know that Snaps loves you. As the memory fades, there's a few moments where your body just feels tingly, like a full-body Charlie horse. And then it's over, and you are yourself again in the Temple of the Veiled One. And
And
finally,
before you move on to the next one, I just want to give
yes.
Burris an opportunity to indicate if anything has happened with Maev during that memory. You can say no and move on.
I think from the time the bone was placed on the altar, her hand is just kind of trembling over her right thigh. But now it's just kind of on her chest as if she is still holding Snaps.
Okay, thank you. Moving on.
Make me cry, why don't you? This is an hour-long ritual, so there'll be
More
opportunity
opportunities to
if
make the
y'all.
temporary DM cry?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that. Anyway, last memory. Foggy. You hear the distant howl of a wolf, and wait, that's your voice. And oh, your mind catches up, and you are in another memory. It's dark. It's nighttime, and you're staring at a square patch of silver moonlight on the floor. It takes a moment, but you realize you're in your room at the Wanderer's homestead, and you are alone in bed. Your hand reaches out into the empty space in the bed beside you. Not your hand, of course. White fur and claws, sure, but the gray rosettes give it away. This memory belongs to Snaps. The pieces click into place. This was just a few nights ago, that first night you had a shared run with Kurok. You can feel exhaustion dragging at her eyelids, but each time the memory dims and sleep tries to take you, your eyes fly open again, and you realize that Snap's heart, is racing. Your eyes find that square of moonlight on the floor again. It's a little smaller. You feel that awful sour knot in your gut that comes from anxiety. As Snap's claws gently pick at the threads of the sheets, you can feel her mulling over the problem of the dragon, and the blurry man, and the egg. Her mind is worrying uselessly back and forth over things she hasn't been able to figure out. Nothing can be done about it right now, in the middle of the night, and she knows that. But her claws worry at the threads, and her mind picks at righteous reclamation. Frustration rises, and her eyes flick to the patch of moonlight again. It's a little smaller. She kicks the sheets off her legs and rolls over, punching the pillow into a suitable lump as she goes. But as she stares at the opposite wall, the thoughts remain the same. The dragon, the blurry man, the memory of almost dying in a mountain pass. Fear. If it had taken a goddess to save you all then, what chance do you have if they return for you now? Stupid egg potential thing. The night is still and silent, and her ribs hurt when she lays on this side, so she rolls to her back. Your eyes drift from the rafters above and back down to the moonlight on the floor. A little smaller. She stares at that disappearing line of silver. You can hear her breath in the silence. You hear the ticking of her thoughts. The dragon, claws picking at the sheets, the blurry man, the empty space beside her. Potential egg, a lumpy pillow, anxiety humming in all your limbs. And the tip of her tail lifts and thwaps down on the mattress in annoyance. Just a sliver of moonlight now. And the noise of a creaking floorboard. Her breath stills and her heart jumps. And her eyes find the dark rectangle of the doorway, and you see yourself materialize there. She watches you pad silently into the room. Her voice is thick with exhaustion when she asks if you're all right. Your murmur of assent sounds just as tired to her ears as you fill the empty space beside her. Your arm pulls her in close, secure. She's so incredibly careful of her claws when she returns the gesture, afraid to scratch you. You smell like the outside, like fresh air and trees and exertion and you. It's nice, comforting. Her limbs still and relax. Those buzzing thoughts soften and slip from her grasp. Whatever worries were there wisp away like water. You can hear your own heartbeat in her ears, slow and steady. Your breathing slows and deepens, and so does hers. What you're feeling now is safety, belonging. Sleep takes you, and the memory is over. You are standing in Snap's home. All of that kind of happens at once, and you all come to out of these memories to see Gilly weaving magic with their book over at the altar, and there is a little bit of an opportunity if any of you wish to react.
Allow me to regather my fucking eyeballs.
Yeah.
I think Dusk at this point is mostly just letting the ritual. He's trying not to be being a cleric. He would think, oh, how do I help with this? He's just sort of letting the process play out, and he's very emotional at this point. I would say, especially with that last memory, reminding him of something that perhaps he had forgotten. Player had forgotten about, but Dusk also may have forgotten about. And just seeing him, and the whole collection of memories of seeing him through Snap's eyes, humbling. It's just sort of all coming to a front, I think, at this point for Dusk.
I think Maiev has begun to fiddle with both the amulet in her hand and a dagger that she has retrieved from her backpack. And she's just kind of sticking close to Foggy right now.
Fog is just trying to control his breathing and not break down again.
I assume
There's nothing
that,
else.
Sorry, one quick other thing. I assume that if Maiev were to catch a glimpse of Foggy's eyes, they would be blue.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Cool.
And as we're all, I mean, it doesn't matter. There's no fight or anything. You guys can put your pucks wherever you want them. This is just something to look at. But you're standing here, you have these memories, and react as you will as Gilly continues to weave the spell.
She's applied the oils and unguents provided by High Priestess Silver to the bone shard and to her own hands and to her own face, and proceeded through an hour-long process, which culminates with turning toward High Priestess, who I assume is on the same side of the road or room as the rest of the clan of the Morning Temple, and just sort of grazes across the collection of creatures and says, "Clan of the Morning Temple and nascent home to Snap of Ice, how do you wish to contribute?"
Crying again.
So, yeah. Snap's family is familiar with the raising of the dead and the rituals involved for the most part. So they would have somewhat expected this, and they'll go ahead and step forward. So, Priestess Silver will go ahead and get it started. She will go ahead and go up to the altar, and she'll set a small silver censer on the altar and say, "The Veiled One has given you a choice, dearest. Choose what is best for you, and know that whatever outcome, you are loved." And nearby, as she's doing this, afternoon guest, the tiefling, he'll join his husband's side. And after a few moments during which clash of copper, he's just staring at the altar and worrying at something in his hands. Guest will step forward. And this man is clearly a bard. And he straightens his back, putting on a bit of a performance with a brave face. And when he speaks, his words are in infernal. It's a harsh language, but the way he speaks is gentle. And the words start out confident, a little teasing, but his voice breaks. He swallows a few times and lays a battered old hand drum on the altar, followed by a little white handkerchief with a few tiny bits of something wrapped safely inside.
And if I may ask what Maiev hears as she speaks infernal.
Yeah. As guest is speaking infernal, I was prepping that for your DM.
Thank you very, very much.
And that plus like 14 deception that he has is utterly failing him right now. And Clash of Copper finally moves. The orange tabaxi takes a few slow steps around to the narrow end of the altar. And his hand opens to reveal a braided lock of white and gray hair tied with a black ribbon. And he lays it on the stone, and his hand hovers over it for a moment, and then twists, as though brushing a lock of hair out of an invisible face. Bends low as though to press a kiss to an imaginary forehead and whispers something, quietly, but with conviction. And I think Gilly is the only one that hears him, because I'm not going to read those words. They will make me cry. So as Clash and Guest step back and their hands are clasped tight together, Clanking Bottle kind of ambles up to the altar, his robes tinkling softly with the sound of myriad little bottles. He pats his side and digs around in a pocket, and after a moment he pulls out a ball of string. But that wasn't what he wanted, so he stuffs it back where it came from. And then he digs around and he pulls out an old sock, and then shoves that back in his robes too. And then a blue glass bottle, but no, that's not right either. Ah, there it is. He pulls out a little parcel wrapped in some kind of waxed fabric, and he opens it to reveal a perfectly square piece of syrup-soaked cake. He'll set it on the altar with a conspiratorial stage whisper. I was saving this for you until you got back, but there's plenty more in the kitchen. And he'll smartly tap the altar with his knuckles a few times and step aside. And then Hidden Ice will be next, and she's gonna step up to the altar with her back ramrod straight and a pile of folded gray fabric in her hands. And her sharp eyes are gonna meet Gilly's, and she's gonna say very matter-of-factly, she'll need clothes when she comes back. And the paladin is going to lay the folded clothing on the altar and pause for a moment, running a finger along the cloth. And she'll say in a voice softer than any of you have heard from her, I patched that tear in the shoulder you never got around to fixing before you left. You will come back to us. And then, squaring her shoulders, she will step down. Finally, Sunshine will go up last, and he's flipping through his makeshift spell book. And he's gonna lay a small piece of fabric on the altar, and it's a worn bookmark with a very rough shape of the Veiled One embroidered on it. Clearly amateur work. But the kid's clawed hands are gonna tug at the hem of his vestments, and he's gonna pick at the seam for a moment before opening his mouth. And no sound comes out. His ears fall, and he gulps in a few breaths, trying desperately not to cry. And eventually he squeaks out, You you have to come back, because I figured out a new spell and I want to show it to you. He's going to look desperately at Gilly for confirmation that that's enough.
Gilly's just gonna take a breath, try to cool their features into a warm, motherly tone, and nod and smile at the boy. Just try to reassure him that this is all he needed to do.
He's going to kind of stumble back and join the ranks of the clan, opening up the floor. The others.
Gilly looks up from the young man once he's settled, and her eyes travel to the opposite side of the sanctuary, and they skim over the collection of people there. And they say, Dear friends, found family, new clan to Snap of Ice. How do you wish to contribute?
Well, since Dusk has seen people putting offerings, he has taken. He apparently has a spare staff, and he has been vigorously carving into it ever since people started offering things up. So he'll go last. He'll just kind of motion at anybody else to do a thing. Go ahead.
Maya has been sticking next to Foggy, and she's gonna kind of look at him, and if he doesn't go up first, she will. Is Gregory muted?
He is. God damn it. He's gonna look at you and nod and say, "I need another minute to make sure the words are right, if you don't mind."
Well, you know I'm not the best with words. And just like a quick eye over to Rasa to see if she would rather go first.
Rasa will. Rasa is. She will approach the altar, and she's going to reach up for her tourmaline earrings and take them out. And she's really not entirely sure what to say, but she just knows that she's kind of at a loss for words at this. But she's like, your sense of style, your sense of class, and your sense of duty bring us all joy. And we all need that little bit back. Yes, Boomer.
And that's what Boomer says.
Boomer comes bounding into the sanctuary. And Rasta's gonna place the earrings up at the top where the head would be, or hand them to
Yes.
Gilly.
She would place them up where the head would be.
Okay.
And then that's Boomer interpreting for Kurok there.
Yeah.
Um. All right. Maiev has been fiddling with the pendant and the dagger, and she will make her way to where Snap's chest would be. And she's walking slowly and intentionally, like she saw Gilly do. And she's reciting the oath first in Infernal, with just a quick little glance over to Afternoon Guest. I give my word to this sisterhood that I will be the light liberating the little, the shield sheltering the small, and the hand hammering the harmful. And she will place the pendant that is the amethyst and her holy symbol where it usually fell on Snaps' chest, comparatively, across the table. And she's still fiddling with this dagger. And she'll repeat the oath in common for everyone. And she will drag the dagger up her right calf to send herself into a rage and have her ghosty guys there and lay the dagger on the table as well. And just kind of whisper at the table. We need our shield back. Uno reverse indeed.
I would like to imagine that as Maiev steps back from the altar, that the ghosty guys are gonna create a horseshoe along with Gilly, overlooking the
Yes.
table, and just stay there.
Yes. And I think upon returning to our side of the temple, she just will scan lovingly across with her eyes across Snaps's clan, and then return to Ross's side and grab a clawed hand. And every once in a while, about every 6 seconds or so, just kind of squeeze Ross's hand to have the claws dig in a little bit. To mechanically keep
And
her
does she need to do that, or did can we say that the spirits stay longer because we're in the temple of the Veiled One?
We're taking emotional
Sure.
damage the whole time.
Yeah.
Come on, the joke is right there.
Yeah,
Emotional
it's good.
the whole time.
Sorry, I
In
needed to
fact,
make
they
a
seem
joke
a little
to...
bit more real than you usually
Ugh.
see them.
Oh, God damn it. Oh, sorry.
Why am I laughing or am I crying?
Ugh. Who really knows? Anyway. He's gonna hesitate a little bit and then get a little spring in his step and walk up to the altar and visibly shake himself out a little bit. Just, come on. I'm not good at the whole words thing. Actions are the bit that's easier. And the necklace that matches my bracelets is gonna unwrap from being wrapped around my hands a couple times over the course of the last hour. And I'm gonna put it where the neck would be, alongside the amulet that I almost called you sis. Maiev made.
No, I'm mom in this situation.
Yeah, your mom here.
Actually, Foggy has the necklace and Snaps is the bracelet.
Did me and mom get that wrong in our DMs just now? Damn it.
Sorry.
I don't remember which was which. Either way, the correct item goes where it belongs. Foggy would know. Player doesn't. Player is tired and
Be
crying.
relevant in a few minutes.
Yeah. He's gonna lean down on the table for a second. All of us, and he gestures at his team, really care about you, and all of us really love you, and all of them really love you, but you know, it's a little different for me. I love you. And I don't think I, or we, but mostly I, could handle a world that doesn't have you in it anymore, so... And then he'll pause at the table for another good 20 seconds before walking away.
Does Foggy have an instrument?
He does. He's got a lyre on his hip.
While he's pausing, he hears Maiev in his head. I think that both her and her dad might like a little music.
He's going to respond in her head. That was the plan once I got away from the table.
Okay. Just, a thematic reason for the pause. It's fine.
You're going to make him perform in this emotional moment.
Is Dusk Glass now?
I do
Yes.
believe yes.
All right. So Dusk has been furiously whittling away or carving away on this staff, knowing that Snaps had a staff, so he has been working on one. 'Cause especially after the comment about she's going to need clothes, and he's like, "Oh, she had a staff," just in case. So he has been whittling away, and he kind of holds it, cradles it as he gets up when Foggy is done, and approaches the altar and lays it down, sort of off to the side a little bit, going lengthwise. And Dusk will say, "We're all travelers under the moon. We're always changing, and perhaps this is just a phase. And even though the moon seems to go away briefly, it remembers how to come back." And the little carvings on this there's the different phases of the moon, basic phases of the moon, and underneath them is a little caricature carving stick figure of each of us, with dusk will be the full moon, and the new moon will be the big black circle will be Snaps. And so he'll say, "Hopefully I can be a little bit of light to lead you back." And then underneath these little caricatures going around the staff is just it's something, because she could speak in giant, so he wrote kind of in the runic speech, or the runic text of giant, is going to say, "The moon remembers," and on the other side, kind of as you go around, it'll say, "That we love you." And he'll put it down, and if he had a cantrip that would be appropriate in this time, he'd probably, but can he cast guidance on Gilly?
Yeah.
Suppose that might work, because maybe he'll cast, maybe it would be too much light on the staff. Pretty bright. Maybe not. That feels thematic though. If it wasn't like blinding light, he'd cast light on the staff, and then maybe guidance on, because it's not concentration. He'd cast guidance on Gilly.
Remind me, what does guidance do?
Just in case there's a skill check involved,
It would be
before
advantage.
the spell ends. It only lasts a minute, but it's a D4, adds to a skill check, ability check.
4.
Add a D4. That's fabulous. Okay. Gilly's going to acknowledge everybody's completed their contribution. My Leaky, if it please you, use these offerings and build a welcoming dwelling for this deeply beloved soul. And they slowly unfold the clothing that was provided and arrange it in the shape of a body. And in a burst of blinding light, the temple begins to crackle with energy. sparks of light begin dancing between the assembled spirits and the altar, where they gather and coalesce into the shape and form of... Dice roll, please.
I did choose to roll dice. Let me be clear though. What you're going to see, what you're seeing is just a vessel, a body. I don't think it counts as a corpse because it has never housed life before, because you still haven't called Snap's soul into it quite yet.
Correct.
But what you see is green. You're not expecting green. Almost the shade of new leaves in spring. Sort of a light green color with peachy pink undertones. Where you're expecting fur, there is this green skin instead. Size is about right. Maybe shorter, it's hard to tell, because those are feet, not tabaxi paws. Maybe a little stockier, like the same mass has been redistributed. Again, it's difficult to gauge without the fluffiness. Her hair is right, though. White with shades of gray and silver. And delicate, tapered tips of 2 pointed ears are lightly obscured by the loose strands of her hair. And for the record, I did give her a chance to be a tabaxi again. I fudged the table a little bit. She was never going to be a halfling as much as I love Zephyr. I rolled a 35, and that is the body of a wood elf. Her eyes are closed, lips parted slightly as though sleeping, but there's no movement to her chest, no flutter of a pulse at her throat. Completely still body has yet to be ensouled. Hand it back to Gilly for the moment.
Snap of ice. This host of friends and family calls to you with love in their hearts from the home within their arms. Please grace us with your light, if that is what you wish. There's a dice roll involved. I'm gonna spell out some math. It starts with a DC of only 12, which is the base 10 plus 2 deaths. I have elected to have all 6 of her clan members succeed in their roles without having to sit here and roll 6 times. So that means that the roll I'm about to do is automatically beginning with a +6. Party contributions could be up to an additional +4. You'll each need to roll a d20 and apply whatever skill you believe would have been appropriate for your contribution. And bring it closer and closer to success. So Rasa went first. So Sarah, I just need you to roll a d20 and add whichever skill you think is appropriate for your contribution.
She's trying to figure out what to add based on what you did.
Performance, intimidation,
Damn it.
persuasion.
Persuasion is probably gonna be based on what.
I don't know how acrobatics or perception or stealth can play into this.
Not really.
Not really. I guess persuasion's the way to go. So 11?
Yeah. which means I fail DC.
Jesus.
No. I only need a 10. I only need a
Okay.
10 for each of you, so we're good. So that's one from Rasa. And then next was Maiev.
Do we still have that bless effect from my aura?
I'm
I would
gonna
say
say yes.
but I'm
Yeah.
compromised.
Yeah. You bet.
Fucking D4 to that shit.
How very
Okay, so
kind of
can
you.
add- I rolled a 4, so it brings it up.
Oh.
Bless is it
Oh, bless.
because my
Oh, okay.
change my number to
15.
Is good. And how'd you do, Maiev?
Struggling to determine. I feel like it was
Roll a D.
because her choice was to go into a rage to pull her ancestors
Toasty guys?
into this, that it was strength related. But it was also very persuasion related. The dice say 14.
Okay. So you could choose either one and you will have succeeded. And then Foggy.
Uh-huh.
Here's the one that's gonna fuck it up. There is no
Don't say
universe
that.
in which
You said
this
that in the
is.
battle.
Yeah, I know. There is no universe in which I get to add anything because this was charisma based, and all of the positive charisma things I have +0. So this is a straight roll plus D4 from Bless.
Okay.
Here we go. I think we're good. Yes, 16.
16 is good. And finally, Dusk.
Okay. So, my reasoning for using survival is that you can use it to find a trail, and I am trying to, with the light I'm imbuing in her staff, help her find
Trying
the
to
trail.
guide her back.
Okay, I'll go with that. Yep, I agree.
All right. That was a 28.
Oh, okay. It wasn't a natural 20, was it?
No, it was a 17
Okay.
plus 3 plus 8.
Okay, so that means what I'm about to roll is a d20 plus 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 plus
And
a
you need to
d4.
and you need to beat a 12.
Yeah.
And then, in the silence of the chapel, you all hear a familiar chuckle behind you. Your attention is pulled away to the back of the room, back at the large double doors you just entered through. But that side of the room is empty. As your attention returns to the altar, you all see something new. On the chest of the still body is a shimmering white lily, resting cross with a branch of cherry blossoms, both laying beneath a small figure of a new moon where there wasn't one before. Something has changed. You have another piece. Sent with love from the astral plane.
Alrighty. So that is a
Aw.
d20, a d4, plus 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, plus 11. I don't know how I could possibly have this not work, but I'm going to roll it anyway.
Formality.
Oh my god, I rolled a 2.
Not
2
the
plus 4
time.
is, I know, I'm sorry. 2 plus 4 is 6, plus 11 is 17. We only needed a 12, so we're good to go.
God, I hate you. Don't do that.
Sorry, more brilliant sparks of light, but this time they come from all around you. some from the chest of the person seated next to you, millions from above and below, from your own chest, from your fingertips. Through the walls and the floor of the temple, they engulf you. They dive in and dive around, and there's a maelstrom of light, each spark dancing and zinging through the space before crashing into the body on the altar. As the sparks are absorbed, the light fades, and the last little spark is absorbed in the center of the chest, and the eyes open.
As the power around you is merging and centering into the vessel, you all feel one final fading memory. This one is not as strong as the others. It's pulling away from you as a wave recedes and returns to the ocean. But you remember being small. You remember the landslide that mangled your tiny body. You remember the pain of a shattered and twisted leg that held you suspended upside down. You remember being trapped by that leg for days as the sun, moon, and stars wheeled overhead. You remember being a child and knowing that you were dying. You remember how the grim gray of the third day began to darken around you, and there was a brief moment when the hidden sunset cast the ruined world around you in a strange orange glow. And you remember your exhausted eyes focusing and blurring and focusing again to see a veiled figure watching from between the broken remains of two massive tree trunks. Some gods show themselves in the cool sanctuary of twilight and the silvery shimmer of a guiding moonlight. Some gods are found in the pleasure of celebration and the joyful act of hospitality. And yet other gods are felt in moments of action, in the fierce freedom of independence, and in being a catalyst for change. The Veiled One came to Snaps as a comforting hand on her forehead. She who comforts came with a promise and a choice. She came with the wisdom of sorrow. She came with the promise of rest and the certainty of death. But she also offered a choice, an end now or an end in the future. Would this cub before her accept the offerings, the sufferings of living, as well as all of the experiences of love and joy that life brings? In that moment, Snaps chose to live. And in this moment, Snaps chooses to live. The memory fades, and you are back in the temple. And you see the first stirrings of a pulse at her throat as that final spark disappears into the chest. And her chest begins to slowly rise and fall. And her eyes open. And if you give me a second, I will put something in the chat.
Oh boy.
It's not in the Eyes of Amethyst folder, Ashley. Get yourself together.
Sorry, I thought you were talking to me to get myself together. I was like, that ain't gonna happen.
Nope.
Oh wow, when did this happen?
Technically, it was finished that weekend. I was up in Maryland.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my god.
Wow, YouTube, you gotta see that. Hold on. Takes me a minute to get there. My gosh.
Absolutely beautiful.
Big ups to our character artist. Good Lord above.
I think
Apparently,
I heard...
she's out of the.
Was it? Did you go back to the same one?
Yes,
Dragon.
she's kind of out of the commissions game
Yeah,
these
okay.
days,
I heard
but
that.
apparently we we treated her so well. She was
Agreed.
happy to
Acquiesced.
do snaps
She
for me.
unretired.
She unretired. She came out of retirement for me.
One last
I
hurrah.
also got a hold of Fifi. I actually got a hold of Fifi Tails first.
Oh, cool. Did you get a little plushie too?
I did.
Oh my God.
goodness.
Oh
Oh my
I got a little
gosh.
tiny crochet bracelet.
Oh my gosh, she's so
Aw.
cute.
And I didn't take a picture of it, but she drew a little. I'll get it in the. God damn it! I didn't take a picture. She drew a little sketch like she did for the others.
Oh yeah.
I didn't save it in the folder apparently. But while I was right around the same time, an artist that I follow opened up some pay what you can commissions. Send me 2 references and I'll draw what I want.
No way. No way. Oh my gosh.
Cool. 50.
And then
Dang.
someone else that I follow was doing free commission. Well, like free because she wanted to test out some new brushes that she'd gotten. So there's also this one.
Oh my gosh.
And this was the Hero Forge that I made.
Yep.
Nice.
And then I did a little playing around in, because I was just
BG3,
not
'cause of
thrilled
course.
when I got Wood Elf, and I was like, what is. Yeah, I was just not thrilled because I was like, another elf? Come on. What is she just going to be a white haired pretty girl? So I just like played around on BG3 and I was like, oh, she can have green skin. I can work with that. And so she kind of came together from there.
Okay, out of there.
And then just the token.
Oh, she's so cute.
Yeah.
Well,
So, her
New body. Who dis?
eyes open.
Yeah,
Nobody who
who
dis.
dis.
Gilly's unsteady on their feet, leaning their hips against the altar to sort of support themselves as they reach under Snap's shoulder blades and sort of help them into a sitting up type position, and then just sort of slide down to sit on the floor.
Dusk is gonna be like, wait, did we bring the wrong snaps back?
I think Maya's spectral guys are still here. Yes.
Yeah, for a little
Maybe.
bit.
Yeah.
They're gonna everyone except for Mayev's mother is going to crowd around Gilly and try to bolster them a little bit. And Snap's mother, I think, is going to move closer as Mayev moves closer to the altar.
Mayev's mother will approach
With my
Yeah.
Okay.
Snaps is just looking a little disoriented, like she just woke up from a real good nap. But if Gilly is clearly spent, she's gonna actually follow Gilly to the floor on the other side of the altar.
Is Snap snaky?
Just like
No, Snap's body
that would be too
puffed
awkward.
up inside the
She's
clothing.
wearing the stuff.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Gilly spread out the clothes and got it ready so that the body would.
Got it.
Yeah.
If If magic can make a body, magic can put clothes on a body.
Yes. Cool.
Yeah, sure.
Perfect. Um.
But yeah,
Okay.
just she'll be looking around, kind of disoriented, and then see Gilly go to the floor and just. She's not saying full words right now, but she's clearly concerned about Gilly, and she's gonna just disappear behind them. They're like the two of them are fucking hiding from you guys. Just wake up and dip behind the altar. And she's gonna be
Yeah.
weeping and looking
Okay.
Gilly over and making sure Gilly's okay.
Dusk will.
I imagine that my ghosty guys are going to start to fade. Can I gauge from my mother if that is snaps? Because Dusk did ask if we brought the wrong snaps back.
What's your insight? Oh,
Awful, non-existent, a 0.
cool. Yeah, your mom looks, concerned. But also as motherly as she's ever looked toward you, might not be as focused on what you're focused on in this moment. And you're having a little trouble reading really what's happening there.
Okay.
Foggy.
And Dusk was saying something.
I'd let
Yeah,
Foggy
order of operations.
kind of. I'll follow Foggy's lead here.
Foggy. You have a heightened sense of smell, do you not?
Oh yeah, I've got a wolf in my chest. Yeah, my smell's pretty good. And I grew
Yeah.
up in the forest,
Wait,
so
I
my
thought he
sense of
was in
smell's
your
pretty good.
head.
Haha.
As far as Kurok is concerned, that's Snaps. It smells like Snaps is in this room alive right now.
Okay. He'll still give like a little occasional head tilt while analyzing the change of the face and the everything.
Snaps, who does not enjoy being the center of attention, is happy to worry about Gilly right now.
Dusk will take a look at Gilly too and offer to lift them up and get them more comfortable somewhere else. I was like, "Would you like a better seat?"
Yeah, just over, yeah, good.
All right.
And
Here, let's get you situated.
Sleep is good.
Sleep. All right. And I will. I'll kind of lift them up, and say, "Got any cots somewhere?" To one of the kitty cats.
I
And
imagine Silver understands what this is, that this exhaustion is expected. So Silver would grasp, oh yeah, we gotta put this person in a dark hole for a little while and let them get their shit together. But Gilly's also a
actually,
little
hidden ice.
frantic. Gilly's also just a little frantic about that book up on the altar is not in their hand.
Oh,
You could tell that's a problem.
Hidden ice, hidden ice will, with her 16 strength, gather Gilly up, but I think Silver will probably go to gather the book reverently, gently, and bring it to Gilly.
Thank you.
And Dusk will help carry Gilly wherever there is a place to rest.
And Silver will mention that we've prepared a place for you to stay, down by the kitchens. And Snap's
Lots of hugs
eyes are
today,
going to
Jen.
peer over the top of the altar at everybody.
Yeah, I
I
think-
think. Sorry, go ahead.
Gilly would definitely have pressed for Dusk to stay behind and let Hidden take her wherever they're
Oh.
going.
All right.
Just
Well,
go. They need you. They need you. I'm
Yeah.
fine. Go.
All right.
And
All right.
then just sort of collapse against Hidden's shoulder.
And just will, just as a parting, to say thank you so much, Gil.
Don't ask again.
Don't plan on it. And if I die, just don't bother.
I think
Anyway.
Maev is gonna reach
Let's
up and
not speak
smack
that into
Dusk on the
existence.
back of the head.
I feel like there's this cosmic draw to the void that I'm feeling. I don't understand it. Anyway, and he'll just say thank you, Gilly, thank you. If there's anything you ever need, no matter how big, no matter how small, if you want someone to kill a spider
Discretion.
for you,
Discretion.
fair enough. And he will return to Dusk. Will turn back to the group.
I
And
think
just
during this, Snap's dads are gonna collect her and just there's a dad and daughter group hug happening over there and some tearful reunion happening in Infernal.
What does Maev hear?
you speak abyssal.
A
don't you?
bunch of emotional stuff, okay?
A bunch of emotional stuff? Yeah, Maev is bawling.
You
It's
do
like-
learn one interesting thing.
It's like it's Infernal is like, I don't know. I can't imagine it sounds elegant. Anyway.
It's got a lot of harsh consonants in it, but they make it sound tender.
Anyway.
I could spell.
Aww. Yeah, Maev is full on ugly tears, bawling.
And Snaps, after that, is just making her way around, and she's just gonna lunge into the arms of whoever. I think it's group hug time.
Yeah,
It is
hug.
absolutely group hug
Absolutely.
time.
Group hug. Blessings of Seluna on all of us.
I think she'll find Foggy in the hug and just hold on to him like a drowning woman holding to a life raft and then trying to collect everyone else with her free arm. So that happened. As I guess we're all pulling apart and wiping tears, Silver would kind of be returning from helping Hidden Ice settle Gilly, and she'll just say, "You are all, of course, welcome to stay for as long as you wish. You are of the Grey Clans now, but we insist at least dinner and one night with our Snaps."
Seems fair.
Also, you've traveled all day, and Gilly's exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I think we'd all benefit from a
And
night's rest in a proper place for more than one night.
and Hidden Ice comes back too, and she just tacks onto the end of that. And you need a bath.
And
Um,
so it
so yeah,
appears we need
uh, you need a bath. Um, so Sunshine, after the tearful hug and reunion and everything, he's gonna get super excited, and he's like, oh, I can show you the temple. I can show you around. And I don't have a map for any of this. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so just a kind of a quick description. After you all enter the temple, basically the plateau is on the eastern face of a mountain. And so you enter the front doors walking to the west, and there's a large entry room that you have already passed through. And there are doors on each wall. The western doors, so if you keep going straight through, will get you into the temple, the room where you're in now. And at the back of the temple on the left-hand side, you'll notice that there are actually doors there. Um, and that leads down to a corridor where there's a viewing room, there's the priestess's office, there's a morgue, there's a vault, um, there's some storage rooms, and then finally at the very back, just going straight back into the mountain, there will be a library, and that is Sunshine's favorite place to hang out. Um, and in the library, there's a spiral staircase that goes up, and we'll stick a pin in that and come back to it. Um, if we go back to that main entry hall and don't go to the west into the temple, and if we instead go to our left, which heads to the south, that's where there were a pair of doors, and that's where the mom and her cubs went into once the sticky cub was collected. In there, you're going to find a large um, communal living space, and there's looms for weaving and whatnot. There's crafting supplies, but there's cooking fires in there if needed. There's a big table, and that's actually where you're going to meet most of the rest of the clan. They are largely elderly and or have old injuries to them. Um, at the far end of that room, there'll be an incline that'll take you up to the rectory, and that's the living quarters. It's a communal living space. You guys probably wouldn't go up there, or maybe just walk through if Sunshine shows you. Um, and up in in that rectory, there's the other end of the spiral staircase that'll take you down into the library. Um, back in the entry hallway, Rasa and Gilly, if Gilly was coherent, would be the only ones maybe to notice that there's tapestries hung on the walls, and one of them has a little bit of a draft behind it. But Sunshine will show you that there's a little side staircase that's hidden that goes up to a watching point that looks out to the east. Not much to do up there. Some people go up there and meditate. Um, but if you go back to the entry hall and go through the final doorway, so you enter and then go to your right, that's going to take you on a long, gently sloping corridor that curves and then dips down into the mountain. You're going to find the main kitchens there, and that's where Planking Bottle spends most of his time. And there's a room next to the kitchens that maybe at one point was a dining hall. They kind of use it for storage, but the clan has set you up in there um, to spend the night. They they often have other clans come and visit, so they're really good at setting up comfy slumber parties. They've got nice beds set up, furs. It's warm, it's cozy. Gilly will be resting in there. And if you follow that long corridor down into the mountain, you'll find various storage rooms, um, some quite old. And you'll continue down, and the air will get a little bit humid, and eventually it'll the hallway will get a little bit rougher and it will open up into quite a large cavern well below the temple. And it's humid and it's you hear the sound of water. Um, Now, all throughout the temple, it is lit with there are shafts and focusing crystals that focus the light from outside, but they also seem to have fashioned lanterns out of a softly glowing lichen or something. It's these natural little orbs of some kind of bioluminescent material, and that's typically how they light the inside of the temple. And down here in this cavern, you're going to notice that there's actually some natural lighting down here, and there's a forest of really big mushrooms. There's also a smaller mushroom garden down there, but sunshine will guide you all to. There is a very very cold stream that runs in to the large cavern, and it's cold at the furthest point, and as it comes closer, um, there are actually hot springs that provide hot water for bathing, washing dishes and clothes, etc. Um, and that's where they get their drinking water down there as well at the coolest point. And finally, the water filters out, and you notice that at some point this cavern connected to something much deeper, but there's a sturdy wall. And if any of you were familiar with dwarven construction, this whole temple seems to maybe be of ancient, abandoned dwarven construction. But yeah, there are hot springs for a bath. There's going to be a very warm, mushroomy, meaty meal upstairs, and there will be a nice place to crash for the evening.
Beautiful.
Which I realize was quite a lot for me to just spit out there.
It's okay.
You've been
Is
building this place for over a year.
Well, yeah,
gonna
I
be
mean, I had it
easy
in
for
mind
Dusk?
when I snaps.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, no, go ahead.
My first thought is it easy enough for Dusk to find his way to the outside?
Oh yeah, you just go
Might be
right back
cold
out
outside.
through the main doors.
Okay.
It is probably cold, but you're built for that.
Oh yeah. As before, yeah, before Dusk would go to bed, he'll have a thing he wants to do.
Okay.
But in the meantime, yeah, I think so. What time of day is it now? It's pretty much what?
Yeah, I think had a
We
slightly late
showed up
start
here.
because we had 3 watches. Yeah, we showed up here in the afternoon, I think.
Yeah, I think I noted that it would be late afternoon by the time Gilly laid down.
Okay. So we're all just sort of giving space, right?
Yeah,
We're
Gilly
letting
needed to lay down.
Gilly's resting. Snaps, her family are having some just reacquainting time, right?
Expected to join dinner with the
Right,
clan.
right. Sure. So we have a little bit of time to kill.
It would be not unlike a meal at the community, but with fewer children and more eccentric older folks. Um, the Syrupy twins will be there, climbing into any open laps. Um, it's warm, it's welcoming, it's a bunch of old people being rowdy and funny and not hearing each other, and the meal itself um, has a lot of mushrooms going on, but there's also meat hunted from the mountains, some kind of unfortunately elk or something. And there's quite a it's like old people food. It's been cooked to oblivion, but in a really tasty, warm, soft, good way.
Old people food. I suppose that's akin maybe to dead people tea.
Yeah, I mean, if asked, Sunshine is happy to lore dump about anything. Um, they don't. It's too rocky. They can't really bury any bodies, so they tend to burn them, and they tend to put the ashes down and feed them to the
Fertilize
mushrooms.
land.
So it is dead people food.
It's dead
Cool.
people food. But there are big tree-sized mushrooms, which Gilly had wanted to see, but might need to see tomorrow before we leave. Um, and afternoon guest, the tiefling, he'll try to keep the conversation just easy and casual, and he'll ask you about your adventures.
Will gladly, without exposing herself, point out along the legs what the adventures have been thus far. Probably ask him a question or two about his tattoo that did that really fucking cool thing that Sunshine sort of told me about.
He has not rested since he used them. Don't think you can use. Hold on, let me look. Hold on.
Hold, please. For character sheet shuffling.
'Cause I've got so many of them. Aha, you can do it multiple times a day. Okay. And yeah, ghostly form. The tattoo has 3 charges and it regains all expended charges daily at dawn. As a bonus action, while the tattoo is on your skin, you can expend 1 of the tattoo's charges to become incorporeal until the end of your next turn. For the duration, you gain the following benefits and a bunch of stuff. You're resistant to stuff. You can't be grappled. You can move through creatures. And oh yeah, he's gonna kind of show you the tattoos um and then he's gonna activate them and walk through you.
And I think walking through me, she's all of a sudden just gonna slip into Infernal and just, oh my god, wait, whoa, that was really fucking cool. I gotta figure out how to get me one of those. Oh, the tricks that I could play.
Got these while I was while Clash and I were running with the Blue Claw clan.
That sounds vaguely familiar to nobody on this call.
Nobody on this call.
Uh, they tend to roam the seas, and they've got a few members that aren't Tabaxi. The other clans are all Tabaxi, but the Blue Claw clan has a few folks who have a knowledge of tattoos. And he's gonna definitely check out your tattoos and your fancy pants, and then he's gonna kind of look to the side at Snaps, who's been fairly quiet. She's figuring some stuff out, um, and he's gonna say, "These boots or these pants remind me of the boot, the bottle of booze, and the bumble of beetles." And Snaps is just gonna groan, put her head in her hands. Don't.
Wait. I think the mom dart just immediately went off without a roll of hearing that groan.
And Guest is going to tell you the story of the one time the Blue Claw clan was visiting at the same time as the Bright Cliffs clan, and there were several youngsters around Snap's age, and they all were down in the lower cavern bathing together. Um, and one of the youngsters from the Blue Claw clan got into Clank's hidden stash. And so they
Oh.
were getting they were having a little bit of a fun time down there. But the thing is, Clank brews his booze with some of the mushrooms and whatnot that are down there. And there's an entire ecosystem down there that includes beetles and whatnot. Um, and at the time that this was happening, those beetles were kind of having their mating season, and they were drawn to the scent of the booze. And several of the youngsters were screaming and trying to run away. And it was Snaps, naked as the day she was born, who jumped out of the pool with a boot, nothing more than a boot, and started beating off these beetles. And Snaps is just, she's got her head in her hands, and her ears are just fire engine fucking red as he's telling you this. You get an embarrassing dad story.
Cool. Oh, cool.
That was Guest or
Yes.
It was Guest who told the story, the bard who told the
okay.
story.
Got it.
Just lifting spirits a little bit, because Snaps has been kind of, like I said, after that initial reunion, she's figuring some things out. Also, I have to DM, so I can't fully inhabit her head right now.
How convenient.
Mm-mm. Haven't even
I'm
marked her
just
as alive
gonna.
on her sheet yet.
Oh gosh.
I
I
imagine she
think.
probably is spending a little bit of time looking at her palms and looking at the backs of her hands, just flipping her hands over like samurai.
He is. And after that initial kind of overwhelming group hug and everything, if anyone else kind of like touches her, she might flinch a little bit because she is not used to not having a barrier of fur between her and the
Yeah.
world, and it's there's
It's
a
a
lot going
lot.
on for her right now.
I'm just gonna kind of eyeball Foggy. How's he doing? Where's he at?
He's mostly just trying to get all of the sadness out right now, cuz like she's back now. You don't have you're not saddled with the whole dead person thing anymore. So he's in that conflicted state. But he's not crying anymore.
Not crying is good. Not crying is good. And um afternoon guest laid a hand drum down. Does he still have a musical instrument on his person?
Yeah, he does. He's got stuff.
Stuff and things?
He's got stuff and things. He's got he keeps a flute on his belt. But he's got some proficiency in other things. But he just keeps a nice little flute on his belt at all times.
Mm. So I think Foggy's gonna get a little nudge from Maiev, be it an elbow or a foot.
Yeah,
And
he nods at her. And already is
she'll
moving
just kind of
the
like
lyre to the
eyeball.
front position.
And she'll just kind of like nudge her head toward Guest and give him a nod.
I'll whistle to try to get his attention.
And he will look at you and eye the lyre, which I think he plays as well. He does. No, he plays a lute and a fiddle and a flute. But he's gonna grin, and he's gonna take the flute off of his belt and catch Snap's eye, and he'll say, "You did promise to play with me when you got back." And so, drum and lyre and flute, I think, are going to happen. I don't have a song for that.
I don't either.
It's just going to be a jam session with Dad.
Yeah.
And Snaps will actually try to figure out how to drum now that she doesn't have claws. She's going to miss a few beats.
Yeah. Do I have hard drive space to install this? I don't think I do. No, I don't. I have to clear some space out, but that's fine.
And at some point, as this is happening, there's a bug. Hold on. It's dead. This is all kind of happening. Rasa. What is Rasa just sitting there enjoying dinner? What's Rasa doing right now?
Oop, there we go. Now we're on mute.
So Rasa is still kind of overwhelmed, but probably toward the end of dinner, if she finds a moment to slip away, she's probably going to slip away to that stairwell to the like observation deck that you were describing. And I think she's just going to spend just reflecting, especially because she had this overwhelming to say goodbye, and that in fact did not. But it also did, sort of, because the snaps that returned is not the snap visually that we're used to. And because she's not a magic wielder, she didn't know what to expect, but she definitely did not expect that.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So Rasa's gonna slip away. And what is Dusk doing during dinner?
During dinner, well, before dinner, Dusk cast tongues on himself, just in case, because he's very curious about this language that he keeps hearing them all say. And he doesn't really know much about it, so he just wanted to cast that as like a to maybe be a little snoopy, eavesdrop a little bit, see what his curiosity's getting the best of him in this place.
There's lots of cats around. Watch your tongue.
Yeah. But let's see, what else does Dusk do? Dusk is going to heartily partake in dinner. Trying to cast tongues on myself. Let's go.
At some point during dinner, the old guy, clanking bottle, he kind of sized you up a little bit. He's gonna slip in next to you and set a cup on the table
Hmm.
and slide it over into your space with one finger.
That's. May I?
Just without looking at you.
And I'm gonna look inside of it. And I assume there's something delicious in there.
There is a glowing liquid in there, yes.
Glowing liquid.
A glowing
Dusk
liquid.
will.
Just a soft,
He
grayish glow.
and Dusk has seen people drink this liquid in other areas of the table. Maybe.
Nope.
No. He's just going
Although
to.
he does have kind of a flask of his own that he's got in his other hand that he poured from and
Dusk
that he then takes a
is.
sip of.
Dusk is going to just. Its name's Clanking Bottles. He's just gonna toss that back, right? He's just gonna take a big old swig of that.
Okay. It's booze. And it is very, very strong, but without being harsh.
Mm.
Smooth.
It's nice. It's very smooth.
A lot of body to
It's a little earthy, a little spicy, and smooth.
Mm.
It's nice. And your intelligence drops by 1, and your wisdom increases by 2.
Whoa.
Hmm.
And there's
Third
another
eye
effect that
open.
you don't notice.
There's another effect I don't notice.
There's another effect that you don't notice that
Okay.
that Flash doesn't even realize. But yeah,
Oh, okay. Well, Dusk is
it gives
going
you
to be
dark vision.
I have dark vision to a
Yeah,
bazillion
so
feet.
do all the
Probably.
tabaxi.
I'll just slide the cup back and just be like, "That good. Me like.
You look like a man who would appreciate.
Mmm. Burning firewater good."
It'll it'll metabolize over the course of like an hour, so you're not going to be like this the rest of the night.
Is that clanking bottle saying that to me, or is that the DM saying it to me?
That's the DM saying that. He's
Okay.
he's just amused, and he's going to take another swig from his flask.
That's gonna be like, golly, how like utterly stupid but wise beyond words. You're
Moon
just gonna be
bright,
like, "Mm."
show way.
Oh man,
I do
this is
think at some point over the course of dinner, Maiev would have fished out the open bottle of Baldilocks and offered that to Clanking Bottle.
If he is offered, he will absolutely drink. And
careful friend will clean varnish off of anything.
She will say, okay, wait, because if he's gonna like try to take the whole bottle, she'll wait, let me show, and she'll get a glass and she'll pour 2 shots and go, okay, wait, like this, and she'll do the thing that you're supposed to do.
and you get he's the one that I did not make a character sheet for, but you get the sense that this man is pro at booze and drinking, and he's just he approves, and he'll share a little bit of his moonshine with you. Of his cat's eye moonshine.
Dust will be
Maev's
like,
super dumb now.
Why did I give this booze to the 2 stupidest ones?
I mean, int 8 is just
Oh,
below average. I shouldn't be like, me say good word. No, it's just like,
he's making
You
it's
might
just,
have had an intelligence of
I'm
8.
not dumb. I'm just, really, really not the most complex thinker. And so Dusk will be like, why, why'd you build this place on top of such a cold place? Anyways,
We didn't build it, actually.
well, I mean,
It
I figured you didn't. I mean, you didn't.
we didn't.
oh.
He's not going to
Wow.
elaborate further, but Sunshine is going to step in and explain how the followers of the Veiled One were not originally from this continent, but they came here a long, long time ago. And when they arrived, when the Veiled One guided them here, this temple had this fortress technically had long been abandoned. It used to be an outpost, a
Ooh,
far-flung outpost belonging to some dwarves, and it was just in disrepair, and they have made it their home.
I was gonna say Dust couldn't help you find history, deep history. Dustin is now referring to himself in third person. He's a little drunk and a little dumb.
Dusk should make a history roll just for the fun of it.
Dusk is going to cast legend lore.
Oh. Well, you're throwing things at me.
You think you're gonna get out of this DMing
Uno
that easily?
reverse.
Gonna throw you a curveball.
Hold on, I kind of know that one, but I gotta look it up.
The deep history Dusk is after.
History. You want to know about this temple?
The
Incense worth at least 250 gold piece, which they have plenty of. They've got
oh yeah,
ass loads of incense. 4
4
ivory
ivory strips.
strips.
Yeah, I forgot about that part of
I
it.
mean, this is a temple that has stuff.
I'm trying to think if I have anything. I probably don't, but it's like, anyone got any ivory? Anybody? Anybody? I'll give you gold.
Some of the older folks who've been watching this are kind of intent, and there's gonna be a little bit of scramble and some old folks arguing with each other and talking over each other, um, and
All right,
making
speaking of,
weird inside jokes and asides to each other. But they'll scramble up these 4 ivory strips for you, and
all right,
High Priestess Silver is just watching this all with quiet amusement.
all right, all right. We're gonna get to
Let
the bottom of
let me
this
read this shit.
because this place is like way too awesome to just like you know a
Not
casual
no.
real estate venture. That's too big of a word.
It's funny if Dusk talks with larger words, the stupider he gets.
I just I speak with confidence and flambastiousness.
So it's a 10-minute cast. What do you do? What do you ask about?
I'm just like, what is this place? Like, what happened here? Like, what? Why did they build it? Why did they? What was there something that led them to leave it? Just trying to like get to the bottom of like, how did a place like this come about? You know,
And you are
this place seems legendary. It's on the biggest mountain on the whole continent.
you have had a lot of memories filtered into your head these past few days. You get not quite a memory, but almost a quick brain blast of a bunch of stuff. This was an ancient fortress belonging to a now long extinct Duragar kingdom. They don't usually come up this close to the surface, but they built it, and it was here. There was a war. I'm kind of making some of this shit up off the top of my head. Um, and this fortress was one final outpost that held against um, some other enemy, and that part's a little cloudy in your vision here. But there was curse that killed everyone in this fortress. A curse so terrible that it killed everyone within and removed the memories of them from anyone still living. And so these people who had these ancient underdwarves or whatever who had lived in this temple, maybe they were just regular dwarves. I don't know. We're making this up as we go. They,
Good
with no
stuff.
one to remember them, they became lost in the gray. And this temple this fortress was abandoned, and then it just lay like that for centuries upon centuries. And then eventually the followers of the Veiled One fled from Meztica, I think it's called, the continent far to the west where the Tabaxi originate, and the Veiled One led them here, um, to this place that had been abandoned. And those early um, folks in the Morning Temple clan, they gathered the bones and they began to use their clerical talents, and particularly, um, you realize that the followers of Veiled One specialize in divination, and they talk to the dead, um, and they gathered the story of those who had died here, and then those first early folks of the Morning Temple, they then spoke to and learned about these souls, and they learned their stories, and then they mourned them properly, finally sending these dead through retrieving them from the being disappeared into the gray and sending them on to their final resting place. And then in return they learned things about this fortress, and then they made it into their temple. They learned how to cultivate the mushrooms and um, and all of that, and they were able to renovate the temple and turn it into their own home. And that all kind of brain blasts you. And I'll let the primary DM edit as she wishes. But yeah, that happened.
And so Dusk is like, his eyes kind of glow, and he just looks back, just sort of takes us all in, and sort of regurgitates all of this history. We're like, whew, wow, quite the place you have here. Got it for a steal, you might say. But oof, that's a whole curse that strikes a little close to home. Whew, about memory and whatnot. Whew. Feel like that was he's like pointing to the sky, like, feel like that showed me that for a reason there, Luna, Moon Maiden. Poor bastards there.
and and a little glint catches your eye, just a little tiny bit of movement, and as High Priestess Silver kind of sits back, and she looks a little bit amused, uh, by having watched you do this, but that little flash of light was off of a moonstone ring that she wears on the index finger of her dominant hand.
Dusk just sort of his eye, just curl smile, just like, that's right, right. Always watching, even under the mountain over here. He's like, wait, she see through moonstone? His eyes just get really big, just like, whoa. Well. Anyway.
So that happened.
Mhm.
As dinner is going on, let me roll something just for funsies.
I would like to point out while she's rolling something for funsies that you people have had a tour of a subterranean cavern full of moisture and mushrooms in these mountains in particular.
Yeah.
There's some part of each of you is probably trying real hard not to recognize the familiarity of the mushroom, humid, underground cavern below the Huntingsbane Mountains.
Yep.
There is a very sturdy wall separating that cavern from the rest of the tunnels. There's a sluice gate where the water runs out, but that wall is very sturdy, and they take care of it.
Dust will definitely be maybe inquiring with at this over dinner also. It's like, and that tavern system, right? You never had any problems with any things. Won't say what. Just generally.
They have not. It's just similar enough to be
Mm-mm.
unnerving.
Okay.
You will notice that you know that Snaps speaks giant. Actually, all of these tabaxi speak giant, and sometimes some of their little sassy asides to each other, and will be in giant. And they have learned this language because you kind of need to. It's survival reasons to keep safe here in the Huntingsbane Mountains. There are lots of giant encounters up here, but their basement's fine.
Okay. Just checking.
And what did you roll?
So Rasa had left close to the end of dinner, um, and went up to that lookout point. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Once you kind of go up a narrow stone spiral staircase, it'll open up into a room um, that looks out on the plateau and then looks out to the west. And there are, let's see, the moon is, what the fuck is today? It is, this would be the 66th day, which is the 6th of flame rule. You'll see the moon, and it's a waning gibbous. And it'll be sort of glinting off of these clouds as you look out, and there will be the sky above and the moon glinting on the clouds that are below the level of the cliff. And there's a room up there where there's little like partially done crafts. Folks come up here to meditate, to kind of get away, to watch the east. And it's nice and quiet and meditative up there. And after a little while, you'll catch some movement. Someone has followed you up there. Hidden Ice will be just sort of resting against the doorway, watching you.
I think Rasa would really, if they were going to say, and if
You're a little far from the mic, my dear.
I know, I know.
Yeah, I'm not picking up what you're saying.
We
Start
have a
again.
new talking pad, and it's hard to get close to the mic now.
Okay, start again.
So Rasa, as soon as she noticed the additional company, would give it a couple of beats just to see if they are going to initiate the conversation. If not, she would probably just turn around and meet their gaze, and in general just be polite and say hello.
And nice. She'll look at you and do the gentle head nod, and then she'll stare at you for a moment, and say, "You've sworn an oath." And it's not a question; it's just a statement.
Head nod.
And what is your plus to insight?
Well, it's 2.
Two? Okay. And she's watching you, and she's kind of hard to read, but she's got this intense gaze, and you get this approval from her. And she's just going to kind of look into your soul with her yellow eyes for a moment and say, whatever hardships are in your past, you have already overcome them, and you have grown greater than you were then. And know that when you meet them again, and you will be triumphant.
I don't think Rasa will fully respond. It'll be more of a reflective note, purely because she still sees herself as running. And after a couple of minutes or so, she would probably respond in, like, I certainly hope so.
And she will stand up straight, no longer leaning on the doorway, straighten her shoulders, and reiterate, you will. And she's going to turn around and go back down the stairs. She's a woman of few words. And she's also not a woman of questions or apologies, apparently.
And she is, just for player edification, is she the one that Gilly kept referring to as mother?
Gilly referred to High Priestess as mother.
Priestess as mother.
Cool.
Is there anything else before we finish dinner and bathe and Dusk has a thing?
Would you reiterate what just happened with Rasa and hidden in words of one syllable for my tired ass?
Um, uh, Hidden Ice ended up following her up to the lookout point, and basically, uh, lady knight to lady knight communication, oath to oath communication, paladin to knight of the Amethyst
Knight.
Order. Um, you've taken an oath, and I recognize that there is something in your past that you've already overcome, and for some reason, there's a vibe of running, but you will meet it again, and you are greater than whatever that is,
Okay.
and
Thank
you're
you.
going to be triumphant. Goodbye.
Got it. Thank you.
There were it's a logo in there. As Hidden Ice says it, so it shall be. So she thinks. Paladin hubris is one of my favorite things. Right. I super have to potty. So we can take a bathroom break and then do what Dusk wants to do, and then maybe go to bed and leave in the morning, or do anything else this evening.
Yeah, bio break. I'm first.
Works for me. Bio
Bio,
break indeed.
bio break.
Hmm.
I'm back.
Cool. Do.
Starting to update Snap's character sheet.
And I'm thinking Snaps went through this shit with them in her own way, so make sure her XP matches their XP.
Okay, I get to level up. I
Yeah.
have some thoughts on that that I'll send to you later.
We also need Andrew to know that in his own way, his experiences wherever he is will have allowed him the same level up.
I will have a little thing written for him, and I'm going to send you basically the little asides that we have had so that you know what has happened.
Ooh.
And there will, of course, be a little something here at the end shortly.
Oh yeah, have I worked out how that's gonna happen? Do I
Have you
know how
worked out
that's
I
gonna
what?
work?
mean, I've got it here. I can read it if you want me to.
What are we talking about? Is it more emotional damage?
Maybe.
Oh,
I
great.
just don't see how a stay is there.
Maybe there's like he has a brief Bamfin and he experiences this, I don't know, he gets a vision from the astral plane to
Yeah,
what's gonna happen.
let's do that. Yeah, we will just have Gregory bookmark that section of the recording so that he can go listen to it and know that he was there astrally.
We didn't even get to see him. Pixie little boy.
I told him what was gonna happen and asked him if he wanted to participate in some way, and it's like it doesn't feel right for him to just show up. But here's this. I could do this. And so, yeah. There was a little chuckle
Right.
and a couple extra offerings there with specific symbolism chosen for the 3 items.
Okay, I'm back.
I will worry about her level and changing her race later.
Yeah.
Are we all back?
I am.
So,
Yep.
I mean,
Okay, cool.
Excuse me.
Anything else during dinner or anything during bathing before we do Dusk's thing?
Not yet.
Dusk will definitely bathing, considering he thinks that the comment about smelliness was aimed at him, which is likely considering he's wearing heavy armor.
It's a lovely hot spring. It's wonderful. And at some point, you're going to notice Snaps kind of sitting in the water and raising and lowering her hand at the surface of the water, just feeling the surface tension directly on her skin as opposed to, not having fur anymore. And at some point during dinner, I think Clash would leave and check on Gilly and bring them a little bowl of stew if they felt up to eating.
Yeah, no, Gilly is out cold, down for the count. Won't be conscious again until morning.
He might gently brush Gilly's hair out of their face and maybe do a little healing or restoration and just help them rest and then close the door behind them and leave.
If we're
and did
sharing.
Gregory say not yet or Maiev?
Not yet. If I'm gonna do anything, it's
Okay.
gonna involve when the the DM reins are back in the hands of the mama and Snaps can be Snaps again.
And Snaps can be Snaps again. She is just way out of it right
Yeah.
now. She's going through sensory hell, kind of.
Yep. Yeah, Dusk will just scrub it up dub.
And then there was
Feel
something
the
you wanted to do
drink wear
before
off.
bed?
Sure. Yeah. So
The
Dusk won't.
drink wears off.
Yeah. I get my +1 more intelligence. I get a little less wise. So yeah, before going to bed, Dusk he'll get some clothes on that will keep him warm. He won't put on his armor. He'll bring his pack. He'll go out into. He's gonna go outside. It's cold, but he's prepared for that. And so he's gonna kind of probably he won't go too far. He'll find a nice place to swipe some snow aside, or if there is any snow to swipe, depending on what it's like. He'll find a place to sit down in the snow, and he's not going to commune. He's going to just sit in the quiet outside if the wind is whipping or so or whatever. But I don't know if it's a cloudy sky or not. But he's going to look up at them wherever the moon might be. Point.
It is clear up here. You are above the clouds.
Oh wow! So he's going to be like, "This is the best view in the house," and he's going to just say, "Feel like I witnessed nothing short of a miracle today. The gods truly are amazing and miraculous. And by the grace of the Veiled One, with some help from you along the way, we have our friend
And
back.
somebody named Myliki.
Myliki, yes. And Maliki, can't forget Myliki. By the grace of the Veiled One, Myliki, and you, all things came together. We have our friend back. Little lacking in the hair department, but that's okay. We'll get used to that. So I can't help but wonder. I've come all this way, and I feel more in tune with you than ever. So maybe, just maybe, there's a chance that maybe you can help me in ways you haven't been able to before. I haven't been powerful enough to call upon ye. But here goes nothing, I guess. And so, oh, Saluna Moon Maiden, watcher of travelers and wanderers, will you help heal me and return that which was lost to me? And he's going to use divine intervention. For the first time.
Woohoo!
Yay, level
Yes,
10.
do it.
And he's trying to recover his lost memories.
Yes, basically.
Okay.
Like we had our friend that was lost returned to us. Maybe, just maybe. 82. Not today.
Not today.
All right. I'll see you tomorrow.
You
Does he remember
uh
anything?
you experience in that moment the shift in the air around you that is familiar to you now, and how the air gets heavier around your shoulders like a blanket cuddling warmth around you. But it's not warmth, it's a coolness that always grasps you in these moments. Comforting night air. You feel a gentle breeze across your left cheek, as if someone is standing behind you and breathing out with their face just behind your left ear. And there's a melodic sound that comes with the breath. It sounds like a humming a closed mouth version of singing. And it shifts in pitch and tone and elongates in sound and continues much longer than a normal single breath would make sound. And you hear a tune that is ethereal and hollow, but familiar. And the longer it goes on, the more familiar it sounds. And as you're hearing it, that image of your mother's face that you saw kind of recently, when you suddenly remembered your mother's face, comes to mind. Like this tune is somehow wrapped up with that face, and it doesn't seem to have words in it now, but some part of you knows that it once did. And it's very comforting. It makes you feel grounded, stable, safe, protected. And then the air changes, and the Moon Maiden leaves you.
And Tusk will stand up and gaze eastward towards Faerun. Just sort of to himself, just whisper, leagues and away, and lullabies can travel farther than anything through time and space. Pierce the veils of things that hide that which was ours. He'll just sort of hum this tune to himself a little bit as he picks up his stuff. Just sort of just starts humming it as if to hope that he wouldn't forget it. Just for some reason, like some dreams are forgotten. He'll humming it to himself. And it's given him a little bit of hope. Didn't work today. Maybe he's got to do some more. Maybe he's got to keep on spreading the good word of the Moon Maiden, and one day things will change.
Maybe
Because
one
he's
day the
scared,
Moon
but
Maiden will decide you are ready.
maybe. But in the meantime, he'll keep on serving the people around him, and one day, by the grace of the Moon Maiden, maybe one day he will.
Are you chuckling at your private message?
No, I haven't had a chance because
Oh.
Sarah's giggling.
Ah.
Let me. She saw a cat in the face of the. Trying to get Discord open on my phone.
Oh, you don't need to
Oh,
see it
yeah.
now. It's for future.
Oh, okay.
Apologies. I did forget to do something while we were bathing.
Okay.
While we were bathing, Maya would have gathered the attention of her party and said, just so that we all are on the same page, if anyone asks what really happened here today, the story is just that a light shined on our shield and returned it to us. As we all know that Billy was never here.
Mm-hmm.
That's the story. We're sticking to it.
Who?
Are you?
Who's that? I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I don't know.
If Dusk walks in on this conversation, he'd be like, "Have you been drinking too much, Mayev? You saying what? What do you mean Gillies is not here?"
No, Dusky. I drank just enough.
It's like, oh, this whole thing about Gilly not wanting any kind of, recognition or
Yeah.
what's the word, fame or notoriety or anything like that.
They didn't want people to know that they can do some of these things because some reason. And well, and I don't remember if Hidden Ice was in with us while we were bathing, but um yeah, Gilly doesn't want people to know that they can do all these things, and that's their business. But I gave my word that the story is that a light shined on our shield, and that's it.
Okay.
Maybe if this conversation happens after Dusk went out to go do his exchange with the moon, he might suggest we could claim it was divine intervention.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I mean, I don't like to
Oh yeah,
brag, but I
just
can have
at some
very
point
specific
before we all settled.
like the Moon Maiden is my homie even more than she already was.
Yeah. At some point before we all settle down. Not necessarily while bathing, but Maya makes sure before we all go to bed that the story has been laid straight. Because she did give her word.
Right. That's the least we could do.
And you all kind of know that Gilly, even though Gilly is passed the fuck out right now, Gilly wants this, I'm sure, to be over and back home. And I think probably that general vibe of um, we can't stay long is probably coming through. So it probably, as dinner is winding down, Clash will mention that if you're gonna leave tomorrow, we should probably get up early, because there'll be a system, weather system moving in from the north. And let's see. Snaps in a new body, and I'm kind of starting to re-inhabit her brain a little bit here as everybody else is quieting down and going to bed. She's gonna have a little bit of trouble settling down, and she's probably gonna slip out of that little room that we've set up as the sleepover room, and just she's gonna walk back and forth in that long hallway that leads down to the cavern. Just, I don't want to say relearning how to walk, but feeling how her new feet work, because her feet are shaped differently, and she's just continuing to work through some things, some physical sensations and
Or absence
emotions, and
of
now
physical
she's
sensation. Leg doesn't hurt.
yeah, legs better, tail's gone, ears aren't shaped right. My nose is super cold now. Actually, all of me's cold because I don't have warm fur anymore. Um, and so she kind of walks back and forth with her hand on the wall, and without the buffer of her family and her clan and everybody, she's feeling some things, and just at one point she's gonna stop with her hand on the wall, and she's gonna bring her other hand to her holy symbol, and she's going to cast sending. And the blurry guy taught me something about sending because at one point I did a sending to him, and his response didn't have words, but I felt his emotion. I felt his amusement. And so Snaps is going to cast sending to the blurry guy, and she's going to pour all of her emotion right now into this spell. Just how she feels about what the people that she loves, what they were put through, and then her own discomfort and just uncertainty about her own future right now. She's just going to pour all of this into this spell. And as she feels her half of the spell dwindle to a close, she's just going to say 3 words. I'm still here.
Yeah,
Hmm.
buddy.
So blurry guy didn't get caught in the cloudy hand
He,
that dragged the dragon away.
he did not. He just disappeared. He looked
Teleported
scared as
away.
shit when that. He
Yep.
looked scared when that cloud came out of nowhere in response to him directing for Snaps to be killed.
Yeah. I'm still here.
Yep.
Yeah, just a lot of bad vibes, and then I'm still here.
We tipped our cleric.
um, now that you have learned to focus on the emotional aspect of a message in sending, you're able to essentially listen for it as well as the words you might receive. Generally, there would, I guess, be an insight check against deception, I suppose, to see if you are able to get that emotional, the truth of that emotion. What's your
Do you
insight?
want to roll that?
I did. What's your
+8.
cool? Um, the words you hear are um, it is the beginning of several words, the first syllable of many yeah, yeah, regret, loathing, horror, sorrow, and the emotion that you get behind those words are reflected in those words. There is an unwavering, deeply shaking wave of horror, regret, fear, panic, sorrow, and above it all, shame. Absolute, gut wrenching shame.
Feels bad, man. And Snaps, who is fundamentally soft-hearted, is not going to get any catharsis out of that, and she's gonna feel bad about it.
Might
She's
make her
gonna.
mad. She's going to be more mad than she was before. Damn it.
No, I think that's gonna just push her over into almost tears. She's probably gonna go up to the temple and try to get her mind off of this until she probably just cries up in the chapel for a while, and then either eventually makes it back down to the sleepover room or just falls asleep up there. I don't like the cone of shame. She's not gonna message him back, "Oh shit, I'm sorry," but no, she feels bad about that.
Yeah, well, he deserves it.
yeah.
He deserves every
He
ounce of it.
definitely deserves it. He fucked with the
And I,
wrong
as a
family.
player, feel good about that, but Snaps does not feel good about that. No, I think she will eventually. After spending some time with her goddess, and it's late, and we're gonna have to get up early in the morning, she will go seek out her family and get some sleep. Because she doesn't know, she hasn't come to the realization yet that she can trance.
Oh, so she's going to sleep for 8 hours.
She's gonna sleep for 8 hours. She doesn't know how to do that.
She's going to have some lessons from the foggy.
She's a cat. She likes to sleep. Anything else before we go to bed and then get up in the morning?
Slight backtrack. Would Rasa have noticed her leave the room?
Probably.
let's
Let me see. She would have
Snaps
tried
do a
to be
sneaky sneak?
She would have tried to be subtle about it.
Perception.
So yeah,
Perception versus
Passive
sneaky
for
sneak.
Rasa is 20.
that's gonna be stealth. I have a +1 and a natural 20 +1.
So I believe Snaps was able to get out without Rasa noticing.
Yep.
You was CP. You be CP. You very CP dog. CP dragon lady.
It's been an emotionally draining several days for Rasa. She might notice Snaps come back. Let me see. Snaps only got a 7 sneaking back into the room.
There you go.
Stubbed her toe because, new feet.
New feet.
Yeah, she did.
Rasa would
Have to
Wait.
uncurl herself from Mayev's arms.
Nope, she would just activate Whisper. Just between the two of us. And would just kind of say, "We missed you. We're really glad you're..." And roll back over and settle down.
And as
And then
she
maybe
was
kind of then a
stuffing
quick
her.
little, "I was a little worried that you weren't. I'm really glad."
as Naps was coming back into the room and stubbing her toe and cussing under her breath a little bit, she'll get that message and she'll just stop and slump back against the wall a little bit, watching Rasa roll over. And Rasa's just gonna feel the emotion of her not knowing quite what to say and just glad to be back. I love you all so very much.
We love you too.
She'll go curl up. I'm sure there's a spot with Foggy.
Hey, while you're getting used to all this, if you want the bed to yourself, I can meditate. I'm fine.
I don't think I want to be alone right now. And I'm really cold.
Sorry, I shouldn't laugh, but that does track. All right.
Is going to be
Come on.
that cat that curls up against you under the fur pelt.
Yep.
I'm sure that Korok is toughing
Mm-hmm.
in your head.
So we all sleep and take a long rest. Is Gilly the first
Oh,
one
yeah.
up?
Poking long rest buttons. Long rest button. Take a long rest. Confirm. So, Gilly is the first to technically wake. If anyone, when anyone wakes up to see Gilly struggle, trying not to appear to be struggling, but struggle to regain their feet and stand and put their clothing back in order and the armor over the clothing and do the morning ritual of preparing to travel. It doesn't take a lot of insight to recognize that Gilly is suffering from some form or level of exhaustion, and their body's just not listening to them the way it normally would. There isn't a fluidity of movement that you're familiar with. There is a molasses heavy nature to their movement. The hair is the arms are heavy while they're trying to somehow form some semblance of a braid or a bun or something to get all this hair off their face and just pull their shit together.
I think Maya will probably do Gilly alone in their head. It's not tonight anymore. Can I help?
Yeah, get the hair. Just tie it up. Get it. Get the hair. There's a lot of hair.
Maya will come over and help with the excuse me, the dressing and the armoring up and getting the hair up out of the way and be very motherly.
Thanks, man. We're hitting the road today, yeah. I got this scroll that, and I couldn't use it to get us here, but I can use it to get us home.
What?
And you don't
I
have
got
to fly. No eagles.
I got this. Actually, if I'd have taken some time to really learn it before we left, I could have figured it out. But I I got this scroll. It lets me. We could go. We could be there in your orchard in a minute. I just need a tree. I I just need to be a tree that I've touched before, and I ain't never touched any of the trees around here before, so I couldn't get us here with it, but I can get us home. And I'd really like to get back to the Peasley and spend 3 days in bed.
Where's the nearest tree?
Snaps, who is probably one of the last ones awake, will absolutely attend to whatever Gilly needs as well. Just stay near Gilly. But she'll say, I don't think there's any trees close by, but I think my dad would know. I think there's a
Wait.
I think there's a small, kind of scraggly grove in a little valley a little ways north of here that we can get to fairly quickly, just not on this mountain, if that'll do.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Just a tree, whatever. A big plant.
Like a tree.
Just need a big plant. I don't think it has to be a tree. It just has to be a plant, I think. Let me check.
Do giant mushrooms?
I
I was
don't
gonna
think a
say,
fungus
did you do the
counts.
giant mushroom?
The giant
Plant.
mushrooms
Large,
don't count for fungus.
large or larger inanimate plant.
It's a different kingdom.
Damn.
Plant. It's got to be a
That's true.
plant.
Fungi do tend to be closer to mammal than plant.
Unless you're Xanthoria and can travel via fungus.
Yeah.
We don't talk about her.
She
don't
who
know
shall
about
not be
her.
named.
She hasn't yet sprung her deal. The world in the timeline we're on, she's still scheming.
So I imagine that
That's going to be a problem over in Faerun.
I imagine that some collection of people of the Morning Temple clan will be assembling in the morning with ration pouches and getting people ready to travel.
Yes.
And well wishers to say goodbye kind of situation.
We got all the old people who went to bed early and now they're waking up early. And then Guest in particular is making sure everyone is kitted out. I think possibly Snaps is going to get a pair of his boots since she doesn't have paws anymore. And she'll armor back up in her stuff. As we're all kind of in the entryway before we leave the temple, sort of saying some goodbyes before we walk out into the cold. Foggy's gonna get just very, very warm hugs from both dads. There'll be arm clasps from Hidden Ice. At one point, possibly, at one point, Priestess Silver, she'll be there as well, saying her goodbyes, and as she kind of everyone is saying goodbye to all of you, but as she says goodbye to Dusk, she's going to clasp both of Dusk's hands and then tell him to be safe, and just take care of yourselves, and walk in the light of the Moon Maiden. And as she removes her hands, you're gonna find that little ring is in your palm. And she's got kind of arthritic fingers with big knuckles. And this ring, I mean, you're a big dude. It might be a pinky ring for you, or maybe the ring finger on your offhand.
I'll treasure it. Sure, I walk
And she'll say,
always with one eye. She'll always have her eye on me.
I've always been quite fond of her, but I have no children to pass it to, and everyone here follows the Veiled One. I sense the time has come to pass it on. And she'll just pat your hand gently and move on to the next goodbye.
And he will, in his big hand, to be clutching this ring. And he'll jam it onto one finger as best as he can. Might have to have it resized a little bit. This looks not so bad, right? He shows like Rasa. Look at this.
Okay.
As you
All right.
get a closer look at it, roll a I don't know what it would be except for maybe history. Roll a history check for me.
Cast Legends Lore.
That's his new favorite trick.
History, because I have a -1 history. It's not fun. Of 3.
Yeah, no,
Right.
it's got a nice design to it, but just in terms of where the design came from, it's a nice little silver moonstone ring, and she'll just. I've never discovered its secrets, but it's time to pass it on.
It's secret.
And I think the DM already knows what that is, or what the history behind it is, I should say. If not, I will refresh her memory.
Yeah, refresh me later.
Maybe I do gotta cast Legends. I was joking, but now it's like, wait. Anyway, I gotta find some more ivory.
Or you could just ask Snaps about it.
When we get comfortable, I feel like, shoving a ring in front of her is like, what did it do? Is probably going to be like a much, let her breathe the free air for like more than 48 hours.
Oh.
Just, see the world from her new perspective.
That being said, as all of the goodbyes kind of wind to a close, it's going to be Flash and Hidden Ice who are going to lead you to this little grove once it's explained to them. He knows what you're talking about. You'll all kind of walk out. Go ahead.
All right, if
got
I
it.
may, with the goodbyes,
Hmm?
Maya will make it a point to hug both of her dads, both of Snaps' dads, very tightly, very warmly, and she will whisper into Afternoon Guest's ear in Infernal that she will see him again under better circumstances. And the same thing to Clash, but in common.
Actually, you've seen Clash speaking in Infernal. The three of them, like Clash, Guest, and Snaps, all speak Infernal.
Oh, okay. Well then, yeah. Just to the both of them in Infernal, I will look forward to seeing them again in the future under a different joyous circumstance.
One that they don't know about yet.
You're goddamn right they don't.
Before they lead us to the grove, they have to walk us out the front door.
Yes.
So
So
I
we'll
have a
all.
bit that I wrote for
Okay.
as you walk out the large stone doors, which I don't know if I gave it to you.
I have it, yes.
Okay.
I have the
If
full
you would,
thing.
please.
Okay, I'm going to do it. As you walk out of the large stone doors of the temple, you are greeted by a lavender sky above. Where yesterday there was a clear and cloudless view of the eastern Huntingsbane Range, there is now a soft, dark gray sheet of clouds extending in all directions, not more than 30 feet below the edge of the cliff on which you stand. There is a slowly brightening orange fire in the eastern sky, beginning to light the clouds from within. And your breath is stolen by the grandeur before you. However, as you marvel at the view, a point on the surface of the misty gray clouds begins to change. Not more than 30 feet out from the edge of the cliff where you stand, the cloud starts to swell and lift like something is rising up from below. A small bump becomes a mound. And as it rises up to 60 feet in height, it fills out into an ethereal and misty shape of an enormous humanoid covered in a shimmering veil. The arms open wide, and the shape of veiled head bends down to look upon the cluster of creatures at the entrance to her temple. You hear the following words softly in your mind, and somewhere in the astral sea, Aste hears the same words. My wandering cub has been restored, although no longer a cub. She will always be my beloved, one of my cherished few champions on the material plane. You have my gratitude, and with it, I hope you will continue to protect and support her in her worldly exploration. Help her grow and learn and feel or understand more of the myriad of emotions that can be experienced by you mortals. One day, when better prepared for her eternal service in the gray, I will welcome her home. The gigantic ethereal head bows and begins to dissolve into a mist that blows across the party, enveloping them completely, deadening all nearby sound. You had heard birds twittering, and now there is silence. As you breathe in this mist, you feel something inside, a coolness in your lungs that turns to heat, and then to searing heat at the center of your chest, like a spark of burning fire within you. The pain quickly subsides, and you begin to feel something new, something different. You feel more anchored to the weave, more sure of yourself, more sure of your place in the balance of the multiverse. I would like each of you to please add the Veiled One's Spark sheet to your character sheet.
What?
What?
Go to your feats down to the bottom to add a feat, and it'll be down in the homebrew ones.
Favor of the Veiled One?
Not the favorite, the veiled one. It's the veiled one's spark. It's down a little further.
Ooh.
Seems to end for Rasa. Where are we? Through.
Oh, holy shit.
Very excited.
Oh wait. Oh yeah, there it was.
Got it?
Got it.
Available spark found it.
Because I am curious, DMs, should it ever
Uh-huh.
That's
be
nice to hear.
should it ever be possible for Aste to consistently rejoin the group, should I tell him to add that to his character sheet as well?
Yeah, I'm gonna write it. He's
Yep.
he's here in spirit. I'm gonna
Yeah.
write it as well in text for him.
Got
Yeah.
it, got it, got it. Okay.
And he heard the veiled one's voice in his mind all the way out in the astral sea.
Yay.
Oh,
And the other DM has already given you your XP.
Yep.
I gave them the XP for the fight. I think you had XP for the story, possibly?
Oh, sure, we could do that too. 8,000 more XPs.
Holy shit.
Manage experience. 8,000 XPs. Cool. We're halfway to level 11 already.
Nice.
all right. So if I die and you bring me back to life, we'll get another 8,000.
Yeah. Well, I know what we're
No.
doing next.
So you have to go all the way back
Do
to
you want to
Faerun.
know? Do you want to know why Nap's DC was 12? Because it's a base DC of 10, and she's already
Yeah.
died twice. Now she's died 3 times, so she can't die again. Because you won't have her clan with you.
Yeah.
Well,
But anyway,
so give you all of the defense magical items.
figure that out later. For
Death
now, we'll
would
say our
come.
goodbyes to the clan.
As your goodbyes draw to a close, a brilliant golden ray of sun breaks from the cloudy horizon and illuminates the front of the temple. You are bathed suddenly in the warm, beautiful glow of a summer dawn. Above you, the purple sky is brightening to an intense blue. As you blink the bright spots from your eyes, you can see what was once a dark expanse of gray cloud is now an endless glowing horizon of sparkling white and gold. And then they'll lead them to the trees.
It's like a half-hour hike to the north with, I'm sure, Maev and Snaps supporting Gilly and helping Gilly the whole way.
Mhm.
And then Gilly will cast a spell, and I will officially not be a DM anymore.
You tired of that?
I'm ready to
Basically,
just be a player.
basically, they pull out this scroll and they walk up to a big old tree and they put their hands on it and they unroll this scroll and they press it up against the tree and they sort of lean against the piece of paper with one hand and hold themselves up against the tree. And they read it off, and it's actually a roll to see if they succeed.
Can I guide them?
10 plus. What do
A
I
D4.
add? Plus a d4. 10 plus 2 is 12, plus, is it their spellcasting modifier? Plus 5 is 17. And it was a DC 16. We're good to go. This tree,
Jesus, lady.
this tree kind of shudders and shakes a little bit, and some leaves start falling off of it. And then the center of the trunk just sort of splits and gapes open. And Gilly's like, okay, let's go. And as you look through the hole in the tree, instead of seeing what's on the other side of the tree, what you see is the front window of the homestead for wanderers. And Gilly steps through, and the rest of you may follow, and you will stumble out of an apple tree in your orchard on the front lawn of your homestead. And then
Oh,
I have to
shit.
figure out what the fuck happens next. I guess Gilly's
And
just going to
then-
collapse on the ground. Yeah. Gilly's going to collapse on the
I think that's
ground. And yeah, we're home. But yeah, we're home now.
I think that's a
Good.
good place to end it.
Yeah.
And we'll pick back up with getting Gilly settled back in at the Peasley and whatever the fuck else comes next.
And somebody got to tell me what the fuck comes next, because I haven't written anything.
And they all
So
lived happily
maybe-
ever after.
Yeah, there we go. It's finished. We're done. We can move on to something new. No. Okay. Well, how about in the next 2 weeks? Because next week is a bye week, correct?
Next week is a bye week, and then our two DMs have to decide if Witchlight needs more time, or so are we doing Candlekeep again in 2 weeks, or will it be Witchlight first session?
Session 0.
Session 0.
Will let us know. Is he still there?
Is he muted?
Are you muted, Will?
Yes, I am muted. I'm sorry.
No problem.
I'll know probably by the end of next week if I will need more time before the session zero. Session 0. I think the session 0 I don't need much time because a lot of it's just working with what you guys have, or if there's more development to do, or if there's tweaks. Everything that I've seen you guys give me so far is so good. But it'll be the first time you guys have a chance to like figure out, okay, are there any tweaks you want to do so that, because we have a lot of casters, which is fine. But yeah, 2 warlock, a witch, a sorcerer, and a barbarian. Quite the mix.
So how
Most of you-
about over the next 2 or 3 weeks, depending on when we're coming back to Candlekeep, if everybody would just send me a private message with what your character's input would be at a breakfast table after getting home, getting Gilly set up in a bed to get her some more rest so that she can get over this exhaustion, or dropping her off at the Peasley. And the group of you are going to get together and talk about what your next steps are. What are you doing? So
Gotcha.
send me individual messages what your character's input would be to that conversation so that I can come up with some shit, because I got nothing. Okay?
Okay. Sure thing.
Great. Love that.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you again,
Sounds-
Snaps. I enjoyed my vacation immensely.
And happy
Oh,
birthday. You don't
I'd
have
be
to be a
snaps
DM
again.
anymore.
Yay!
Happy birthday.
Yes.
Happy birthday.
Wahoo!
too.
And what is your birthday
Oh.
is Tuesday?
Today. Is it
No,
not?
it's today. It's
Oh, it's
now
today,
past midnight,
today.
so
Oh, happy birthday. Happy
technically not
birthday.
until
Happy day.
3:48 in the afternoon. But yes.
Ah, yes. Well, happy early birthday.
And mine is on Wednesday, I believe.
Mhm.
Alrighty. Love y'all. Good
I'm going
night.
to mimosa brunch in the morning.
Good night,
night.
YouTube.
Oh, that's nice.
Have a good night.